Hello and welcome back to my mapping series. Today I'm going to try to do a little experiment. Namely, I want to see if I can theoretically relatively easily edit and make more complex my height map using information from my color map. And what I want to do is add what is usually called in wargaming language, it's usually called microterrain, which basically means that an area, unless it's asphalt or whatever, it's never really completely flat. And what I want to do is select the darker areas here of my color map for the snow, and then make them slightly more low-lying in the height map, so that the darker the snow is, it just dips slightly down, so you can prone in there and hide yourself. This might actually not work out, but who knows, maybe it will. So in order to do that, first of all I'm gonna just make one completely black layer here, and make it completely transparent. Okay, so then we have to select this here. I tried this 2 times already, and every time my computer crashed, even though I have 32 fucking gigabytes of RAM. Then I remembered that I played Battlefield 5 earlier, which is, I think, relatively heavy. So I restarted my PC. Fucking select that shit now, you useless cunt. Okay. Don't tell me that shit crashed again. Come on, it can't be that hard. You just have to select the pixels that have roughly the same color from one fucking picture. How difficult can this be? It's still going. It's amazing. I think I may have to copy that into a new file just so that works, because otherwise I think it's just, I don't know. Well. Fucking hell, finally. Okay, here we go. Zoom out a bit so it crashes. Okay, I know why this was so complicated, to be honest. So what we do now is copy this and add it to the alpha channel here. I think that's at least how it might work. Again, this will take a bit or crash the computer. Okay, we will wait. I've copied it in. Here we go. Okay. Now we wait. It's still going, but it managed to do it. It's just... Oh, come the fuck on. How hard can this be? Okay, here we go. You see what kind of bullshit I have to deal with in this hobby? So, let's fill that with complete black for now. That was stupid. Let's undo that and fill it with complete white. Did it the wrong way around. Okay. Okay, just filling it with black just deletes everything. Be careful. Why? Why do you need so long for that? I will probably have to speed all this shit up. Okay, fucking finally. Now let's do the same thing again, but correctly this time. Okay, so this is what I wanted. It's completely black now. still completely black. Okay, so that again took ages. Let's put that down. Ebene verankern. Okay, it's now in the alpha channel here. So now there are several things we have to do. First of all, obviously the Battlefield 2 height maps are not complex enough to support this kind of like detail, so we're going to blur it out with the Gaussian filter. Using a filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and we're going to blur it quite a bit, like this. Okay, so now we have to do two things. For one thing, we probably have to make the whole thing a bit brighter, the alpha channel I mean, so that it doesn't completely make huge holes in our height map. And then, I think we will do that first actually, we will have to exclude all the areas where I don't want the height map to be roughed. So namely in the villages where I placed all kinds of details already and edited, and I'm going to continue to edit the height map in detail, and of course all the other areas where I already edited the height map in detail. So first of all, we will exclude everything where we have the disturbed snow. For that, let's look at the alpha channel. We're gonna, and this should be relatively quick in comparison, gonna take this, all the white areas, maybe a bit more just in case, and copy that in here, in the new noise map or whatever we're going to call it, make it completely black, and that should logically exclude everything there. So, did I already? Okay. And then we're going to put that down. Nice. Then this we don't need anymore. Then next, all the erosion stuff. Same thing here. Select it, copy it, put it in here, fill it with black, put it down. Then get rid of this again. Color erosion highlight, do we need that? Probably not. Don't need to exclude that. Color forest, we will include that stuff later anyway, or exclude it rather. And then the same thing here. I'm not gonna even look at the alpha channel here. I'm just gonna click on the necessary areas, put it over. That way it's a bit quicker. And here we go. So if we look at our changed thing here now, here, as you can see, these are completely black, so this area will not be affected. But there is more that I want to exclude, namely all the village areas. And luckily, you can do that relatively easily, simply by going back to our plan. And we have a village plan here that we also kind of followed. So let's just go there. We know, I don't even have to look at the area, we know there's a village here. Aha. Yeah, there's the village. Copy that shit over. Where do we have our, yeah, here. Copy it in here. Fill it. Okay, and it's included. Then the same thing we will do with our roads. Obviously we don't want to have our new more complex height map on top of our roads. Again, by the way, I've never done this before. This might be complete shit, and in the end I'm not gonna use it. Who knows? But I want to try it out. I had this idea, and sometimes if you have an idea, you just have to try it out. Okay, so roads are also excluded. Yeah, we will probably have to darken this a lot. We will have to darken this a lot, yeah. And what else do we have? You know what? Fuck it. Forest. Let's also exclude the forests. Forests are here, right? Yeah, here we go. Forest plan. See, this is why I like these files, and this is why I want to try that out. I'm pretty sure with this method that I'm using here, you can do all kinds of shit, but you just have to try it out. Okay, so none of the forests will be, because those are already roughed up with a different kind of approach. One thing I'm still seeing is the center of these I'm looking for a word. The center of these shell craters. So that I'm gonna do by hand. Because, okay, I'm gonna use normal like this. And actually, I'm gonna edit, okay, deckcraft opacity was set too low. I'm just gonna exclude the whole areas around these as well, so they still stand out and don't get wrecked by the new, you know. I'm gonna do that here as well. All these, you know. Okay. Same thing here. I'm really looking forward to seeing, oh yeah, this too, because that's where I put the, what's it called, the windmills and stuff. You know, ideally, of course, I would have done this earlier. It's just I didn't have the idea until now. So it's not the perfect thing in terms of, what's it called, in terms of workflow. Anything else that needs, yeah, here we go. Here, oh, good that I'm seeing that now. Here I have to paint a bit more, because as I now remember, I had the things here. I made the village bigger here. Let's just be careful. Err on the side of caution. And then up here, where did I have the stupid anti-tank or the stupid Stucks hidden? You know what, I'm gonna clear out this whole area here. Okay. Just to be safe. You know, where did I have the Stuck, missing words. Where did I have the Stuck pits? That's what I was going to say. Alright. So next up, this probably has to be made a bit darker in general. Maybe blur it again a bit. Yeah. Blur it once more and make it generally darker. And also, yeah, no, let's make it just dark. Okay, so if we look at the actual effect, of course, doesn't tell us anything. So, what we will do now is copy this one time and resize it. How to best do that? Maybe just with the normal resizing tool here. That's correct, right? Okay, yeah. And it has to go for the height map 1025 to 1025. Scale it. So why did I do that? I don't know. Not just kidding. Because the height map is that big. So let's open the height map. Height map primary. I extracted this using the normal FH2 mod toolkit, and this is our height map. So if I now take this thing here and put it on top of it, what would happen? Okay, let's new thing. Thing is that's probably way too extreme. Way too extreme. If you look at that, yeah, that's horrifying. Where are you? Yeah, here we go. Wait, what the fuck? Oh, yeah. It still needs darkening, I think. Yeah. Like, way darker. Okay, let's put it like this. Now the question is it too dark? Is there even still a difference? Yeah, there's some difference, yeah. Huh. That's disappointing, but I'm gonna try it. Okay. So, let's just put it down here. Override the height map primary. I'll save this for now. Okay, so now we will use Battlefield 2 mod toolkit to import this new height map primary into the map. I won't show that. Alright, let's copy the new file in. Note that if you were doing that yourself, I would back up everything. In my case, since it's all on SVN, I don't give a shit. Einfügen. And here we go. New height map primary. Let's load it up in the editor. And here we go. Let's see what happened. And it's still very... well, that's, I think, new. Okay, that's completely flat now. Okay, it destroyed basically everything I'd made before. Yeah. Well, that's what happens sometimes when you do experiments. So, the fuck? I don't even know how this happened. To be honest, I was a bit weirded out how low quality the height map looked in PNG, so I think some shenanigans were going on there in general. Alright then, that didn't work. Alright, go fuck yourself. And there's the old one. Alright, for you there was only a shortcut, but for me it's actually a few months. As you can see down here maybe, it's now the 7th of January 2020. And in the intervening time I haven't really done anything on this map, simply because there wasn't that much new things to do, and I had to work on Motovsky, not to mention on real life. But now there's some movement here again. Valleyman contacted me once more with a nice new static for the trenches, which I want to try out. I don't know if I want to place it right now in the same session, but we do have it, and that's the trench-locked short half top. You might remember that in the after action report the Russians talked about tunnels being here at Pshenichino, and because of that he made me some top covers for the trenches. Now these are, I think, supposed to be used, generally speaking, not like there's supposed to be like a little gap here so you can shoot out, but I think you can also use them as a tunnel if you want. You just have to be very careful when doing that, so that you don't mess it up and make the running through the trench too hard. Now, let's see, where could we place one just to try it out? Let's see how it would work here, because that one is a pretty straight line. Y pitch has to be changed to 6.2. Okay. And let's see, just place it here and see how it works out. Don't know if I will also test it in game now. since we're gearing up for release, I'm reluctant to add lots of new stuff to the general to the beta right now. Okay, so it's a bit less wide than the normal trenches. That's good. Gives you a bit more ways to place it. Let's see. How could you fit it here? This. Let's say I would want to make the thing go directly into it. It's probably not that easy, huh? No? Well, it doesn't look that bad, but no. Okay, so that's not what that is for, but you can place it to make little tunneled section, like here. Let's say we want one in this area. So right now we have it, I think, how it's supposed to be placed. Oops, doesn't really... I don't want them to glitch into these other support structures here, or support beams, or support logs, or whatever. Like this. Yeah, that seems fine. Let's see how it works with the collision. So if you place it like this, you can still shoot out. So it's not a real tunnel. And now we're running into the problem. I was afraid of that you will bump your head. So that's why you have to always check that out. So this is basically how far you can put it up. Is it floating anywhere? Yeah, it's floating here now. So we have to put it down so it doesn't float here. Okay, if you place it like that, obviously it doesn't float anywhere and you can shoot out. So that's one way to use it. Since the Russians mentioned tunnels, I will try to do it maybe... I will try to maybe have it completely closed, but only if you can then completely crouch through. Like this, can you crouch through then? And of course, whenever I record some guys dying and or committing a crime, so the police comes by. So how do you crouch in the editor? Oh, that's the problem. Y was prone. Well, I'm not interested in that. V? No. X? No. CTRL? No, that's something else. Alt? No. Well, that's great. Where do I check that? Huh. Why was that? Yeah. Do I really have to put this in game? No, 1 second. I need to ask in Discord. Alright, so apparently nobody knows. So I might actually have to try this out in game. 1 second. Alright, we are in game. Let's check out the new thing. No, of that. Oh. Make a note of that, I should probably remove the collision mesh. So, after the basement and the mortar pit cover thingy is done, I will start working on the details on this map as well as implementing some of the changes that I was talking about, like more varied terrain in some of the areas, more cover in some of the areas, that kind of thing. Okay, here we go. First of all, collision mesh. Seems fine. Oh, the question is, can we easily get through there? Now, see, this is why it's important to test this. Now, the problem is, of course, with the... Okay, here I can't get up, here I can't get up, so yeah, but these, I just have to lower the terrain here. I hope I can figure out how to crouch down in the editor, so I can test that in the editor and don't have to pack the map for all of those things. That way I can test it way more easily. I'm pretty sure that works somehow. And in fact, come to think of it, I seem to recall, distinctly recall, that I watched at some, or that I saw at some point some kind of file, some text file where you could set the controls in the editor. I just never really messed with that. But yeah, I want you to be able to crouch through here. And it's immensely important that if you put something like this in, you check out if it actually works in game and how it works and if you need to change anything, because This is the kind of thing that annoys players. They go through here and it looks like, and then, fuck, why? Normally, you know, a normal person would probably just, you know, lower their head a bit or something, and now you have to prone. It's annoying. You really have to make sure it works out. Other than that, I really like this, and I think, having thought about it a bit, I will probably add these tunnels only in this Shinichino area here, so the last one, simply to further set it apart from the first set of trenches. So yeah, I think where could be good places? I want to place a lot on this hill here because there's not immensely varied cover up here, or not like it's not all that varied up here, and I don't want it to look too samey. Also, maybe I can use that to cover up some of these little mistakes. But I have to, of course, make sure I don't get in the way of the gun pits or the gun emplacements. You know, for example, this puck, I really can't place one here because that would probably affect the aim point of the puck too much. But for example here, well, that will be a real mortar pit, of course, but why not place one here, some in the back a little bit. So yeah, looking forward to working on that. You will make a smaller version as well. I already talked to him, like a short version that I can maybe place on or in some of these areas here where it's a bit more complex, you know, the trench layout. So that way you have a bit more, what's the best word? You have a bit more flexibility. But of course, generally speaking, the long pieces are best for these longer areas here. And 1 second, let's do this. I think what could also be cool is to say, I should have put the spawn time down, but okay, now it's too late. But what could also be a good use for the shorter pieces, I just have to look at it to see if that's actually true, but you could probably use them more creatively as well. Let's say, for example, oh, this is exactly where I didn't want to spawn, but fair enough. Let's say, for example, I put them... Didn't I make like an ammo area here somewhere? Ah yes, the amazing glowing flag zone. Yeah, let's say I put that over here and then ammo down here, like they're trying to protect it from the elements. That could look really cool. And then I would put some pickup kits down here as well. So yeah, I think there's, I really like this part because it gives you a lot, as a mapper, it gives you a lot of creative options of what you can do with it. Yeah. Other than that, as soon as these, yeah, the question is, should I release another video? Like, should I just end this video here? Or should I wait for more changes? I mean, I haven't posted a video in months. People might think that it's dying, even though it's just, like, the production just has slowed down and I'm waiting on pieces that I can use. You know, I have a system. I want to put these major statics in, the new ones, and then after that, the next step is putting in detailed statics, like ammo boxes and so on. I don't want to do that. I mean, I could, but it's not that, what's the best word? It's not that efficient, you know? I want to get the big statics down first, and then the small ones. And since the map isn't even planned for the next patch, where I will release Motovsky and we will release Tali and so on, because it's not even planned for that next patch, I don't see why I should rush it, you know? That's why there was such a long pause. Obviously I used that time for other projects as well. Just so you know. You know what, I think I will release this now. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. As always, thanks for watching and have a nice day.